Well, welcome back. Welcome to the Princess of Suburbia show. Well, as you know it, we have Miss Wendy right here with us. Welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Well, we're going to talk about something that we do hope that you're going to glean knowledge from today, and that is that your past does not define your present. Your past does not define your present. So, Wendy, when you hear that, what does that tell you? What does that bring to you?
Anything that you had going on in your past, any type of past trauma. Also, I'm not sure if I shared with you, actually, I have over 30 years of mental health and substance abuse experience
Yes.
as well. So that is my other life. So I've been doing that for a long time with nonprofits, working with children and families. And so when you talk about your past does not define you, that's actually what I share with them.
That's right.
Because they have gone through so much trauma in their childhood, current, as well as the families, is that they sometimes get stuck. They actually get stuck and they actually cannot move forward.
Yeah, that's right.
And you have to actually share with them and let them know that, you know what, once I actually had trauma in my life and I moved forward. My past did not define me. My trauma did not break me.
That's right.
I am now traveling all over the world. I have a master's working on my Ph.D. And so I share those experiences because a lot of times people don't share that. They don't say, you know, well, I've been there where you had before. And we actually don't open up to people enough.
Right. That's right. Well, as you know, I also have a social work background besides writing. So I did foster care and did.
I did too.
Yeah, I did foster care.
Wow.
And it was amazing because I had from the ages of children all the way to college students.
Okay.
And it's just amazing to me when you sit with them, particularly the high schoolers, and just what they've been through in their life.
Yes.
And they wear it. That's the thing, they wear it. You literally see their faces and they wear it. And because of that, they kind of are standoffish because they are afraid that they might be broken yet again. And so for people like that, or women out there that have children that are going through trauma, that continually to go into a habit that is destructive because of that which they thought they are, what are the advice we can give them?
Well, you know, I'm actually a cross-cultural consultant.
Yes, you are.
So I'm going to talk about culture in this.
Yes, that's all right.
Because a lot of times what happens is that we actually will not reach out to get help because of our culture.
That's right.
Our culture sometimes says that we keep everything in the house, right? That you don't tell anybody anything and that everything stays here. And so based on culture, a lot of times we're fearful of actually going to get help from a therapist. There's so many resources out there today. So sometimes you have to say, you know, I'm going to have to step outside of my culture or what someone told me and actually go get help. There's resources around. There's actually, like you said, therapeutic foster care agencies. There's mental health agencies. There's substance abuse agencies. There's even groups. I've actually even created some parenting groups myself. There's also groups for teenagers and kids. So there's a numerous ways of people to get help, but we just have to go out and look for it.
Okay, so I'm going to play the devil's advocate right now, because there are some people out there that they are really, really afraid that if they go out and seek help, their children may be removed.
Yes, that's true.
And we know that it's happened before.
Yes, all the time.
So how do we ease their mind? What do we tell them?
It depends on, honestly, it depends on the social worker. And I'm going to be truthful about that because if you're just a social worker and this is just your job, right? Sometimes you could have 50, 60 cases and everybody just becomes a number. You have to actually, they're going to have to be able to trust you. It's really starting with trust, building a relationship. Because think about it, I'm going to help you. I'm going to get you out of the situation. They've been told that so many times. And so I also believe what is called child and family teams, and that you actually have to build a child and family team, and you pick your team. And so that's called systems of care. And actually you are able to pick your therapist, you're able to pick your social worker, you're able to pick the person that actually participates on your team as far as the housing authority. And so I think when people start to get people around them that they can trust and open up to, and also understanding that everyone's on a different agenda sometimes.
That's right.
And that you have to open up and tell them what your needs are. You have to at some point trust, because you cannot get help until you let go of some of that fear and start to trust someone. And once you tell your story, if you have developed your team, you should only have to share your story once. That's another thing that happens, is that people start sharing their stories.
That's
and the
right.
therapist will say, well, go talk to this person.
Exactly.
And then you go
then
talk to
start
this
over, all over again.
No one wants to continue to keep sharing their story.
Right.
Have a place, develop your own child and family team, whether if you're your child, whether you're adult, and have a team of people that's your team, and everybody agrees to come together to talk about whatever issues, concerns that you have every month. You do it once a month, and you talk about who needs to do what, and everyone takes accountable, and you're not switching off on teams, and you're committed to the process, and they're committed to you.
So if you are a teenager, but you have a father that would not allow you, because I've seen it happen as a social worker, where you have the father that does not believe in therapy and all that. And yet, you have a social worker that keeps insisting that you, as a teenager, need to be in therapy. And you have a mother that is kind of subservient and will not say anything. What is your advice to that teenager?
He still has to find help. And so a lot of times what I tell kids, and this happens all the time, but remember there's always someone out there. It doesn't have to be a therapist who has a degree, right?
That's right.
It might be that grandmother,
That's right.
or it might be that neighbor, and it's called what you reach out to as your natural supports.
That's right. That's right.
That as long as they have someone that they can go to, that you create the natural supports around you, and so that you're not disobeying your family, you're not disobeying your mother and what your father has going on, but at the same time, you also have to be truthful. I do believe in telling kids to have truthful conversations with their family members about the need and the reason why they're asking that. But most of the time, I also just really tell them to rely on their natural supports.
Okay. So I have an example of a situation where during my dissertation, I did my dissertation on females who are up to from ages 18 to 21 who have anorexia nervosa, who has eating disorder. And what is even unique about that is people who come from silent cultures. And so my participants I had some participants as Black Americans, I had Africans as participants, and then I think I had Asia. And so the three of them, it was really interesting to see how culture, just like you said, played a huge, huge role in it.
Yes, it does.
The Black American is that, look, we don't tell our things.
That's right.
Out
You
there,
keep your stuff inside.
Don't even try it.
Right.
And then the Black one, the African is saying, oh my God, we don't have that in Africa.
Yes.
You all don't label my child. My child is not, no. He got to eat well so that he can gain and do, no. And then you have the Asian that is like, just doing like, say what?
Right.
Say what? So it was quite interesting to see how their reaction to that illness, because all of them had different reactions, but yet the undertone was still like, you know what, get your nose out of our business.
Right. That's
because
usually is.
We don't want you to just, this is a secret, this is a taboo. We know it's there, but because of our culture, we are just going to pretend it doesn't exist.
And a lot of times I find it also they are scared and fearful of saying what's in their culture.
That's right.
I actually, for the first time, experienced recently in a mental health agency where a Muslim woman who was she wasn't from Dubai, I think she was from Pakistan, and she came in for therapy. So I was really shocked that she came in. So I was just like, when I was talking to the therapist, I was like, this is really interesting. And so I said, does she really know who sent her here? And they said the social workers. And so I said, but does she know why she's here? I said, because usually they don't do that. So she went through the whole CCA, which is a clinical assessment. She ended up saying that she wanted therapy. Wow. So, I had to go in there. I had to introduce myself because I had to understand it, because that culture, usually they actually don't talk about having a therapist. Everything stays within the family.
That's right.
And so what she said was she had actually left her country. She was actually getting a divorce. She was becoming Americanized. That's what I call it. Okay. And so she said that she actually wanted to try this. She said this therapy thing. That's what she told me. She said, I need to give this therapy thing a try because they said it can help me. And so I'm willing to give it a try. So we talked, and so she ended up staying with the agency for a while. But it's very interesting because their culture is not like that. And so, of course, I talked to her a little bit more, and she actually was able to get help for her and her family.
So a woman who is watching us now who has an overbearing husband, right? She knows that she has problems. It's hidden. how can she handle that situation when you have a husband that's flat out saying, no person in my household is going to go there because you're not telling any tales out there.
Right.
So what happens to that woman?
She still has to get help.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, she still has to get help. Thank goodness I don't have a husband like that, but I'm kind of feisty too, so he probably wouldn't be able to do that anyway. But I have a lot of women that actually have gone through that. I have friends, to be honest, that still go through that today, and so we have formed what is called our natural support system. Okay. And it's where we actually come together as women, and we actually meet once a month, and we talk about what's going on within our lives, whether it's good or bad, and we actually support each other.
That's good.
Right? So because then it looks like to the husband that it's just that we're meeting.
Ooh, right? I like that.
See?
Sneaky. I like that.
The women are just, you're getting together. Yes,
exactly.
Together
and you bring your plate too with food.
Yeah, what are you all talking about? And we actually do it virtual too.
Oh,
some of them live in different cities, so we actually come together and we meet on a Sunday afternoon or one day during the week, and we have codes where if someone is really going through something, then we have what is called the emergency code meeting.
Oh my God, that is so that is cool.
Yeah, and so then therefore, you know what? It's not that they're going against their husbands, and they're not going to, for therapy, but they have a place where they can trust and just let go. And our group is just growing and growing and growing. So now we're trying to figure out what we're going to do now, because now everybody wants to come to the group, right?
Oh,
but we do have therapists in our group.
Oh wow, that is
workers.
You know what, that is so good. So how can a woman find something like that kind of support? Is it online? Where would it go?
Create it.
That's good.
You create it.
That's good.
So if you know that you're a woman who, that's what we did. We didn't find it online.
Right.
It could be online, but we actually created it. We just decided that, you call one friend and they're having a problem. You call another friend, they're having a problem. We were just like, this grapevine has to come together.
Exactly.
Right? So we're going to build, something's going to have to stop. So we actually created it. So if you are a woman that's going through that, find friends and people that you trust, and you build that network. So not only that, it's good just to be around other women. So you don't have to talk about everything bad. It can be good things that's going on in your life. And just start forming that network. So create that within your community.
Well, you heard it. Create it within your community.
Create.
So thank you all so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you here. We hope to see you next time, where we'll be bringing you another exciting episode of The Princess of Suburbia Television. Be inspired, be motivated, be of sentimental value, be the hero in your own success, rescue and recovery, and say hello to them. Pure. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.